Hi, I'm Brian Denton.
And I'm Mona Wong.
Welcome to the Home Buying Uncensored podcast.
We are here to talk to you about all the joys of home buying,
all the struggles and tribulations, but we're going to make it fun and we're going to make it easy. Mona's going to make sure it is uncensored.
Strap on your seatbelts, you're in for a ride. Hey, Brian.
Hey, Mona, what's going on today?
Well, like every other day, talking to first-time home buyers, and they always ask me the million-dollar question that I'm going to ask you. When is it too early to get a pre-approval?
Well, the simple answer is it's never too early. And my experience over the last 30 years has been every time somebody tells me they're looking 3 to 6 months down the line, I'll take an application and a week later they've owned it on a home and want to make an offer.
True story.
And usually that's not a good sign because it doesn't allow us time to do our work properly for you. And at the same time, you're not doing yourself any favor. You're falling in love with something that possibly you can't afford, which is never, and that's just going to add to the disappointment and not to the encouragement. So the simple answer is get to us as soon as possible, get to a loan offer as soon as possible, get everything in. Most pre-approvals are good for 90 days and then can be re-updated again every 90 days. So even if you wait 6 months, you're still in a good position, and you're going to have a better offer and a stronger offer, especially in a seller's market, which it is still in Massachusetts right now.
So let me ask you for your opinion on this. I often talk to people who will go and get a pre-approval from like 14 other banks.
I don't think that's necessary. I think once you hone in on a property, the best time to shop is once after you've already been pre-approved and you have an accepted offer on a property, because interest rates do not matter until you have a property that's under agreement. You can't lock in, and even if you can lock in, some companies do have a program where you can lock in ahead of time. It's usually not a very attractive rate because they're going out a year or so to 6 months in locking that rate, which is not the best pricing, and they're not going to get the best interest rate, even with the most perfect credit.
I agree. I also think knowing who you're working with and getting all your answers to your questions is really important. And having that level of comfort and asking them these questions is really important too.
Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right. I mean, we all basically get our money from the same places, so rates differ maybe by an eighth, a quarter at the most on every given day. I mean, us at the Denton McRae Group, we can be the best rate one day and be an eighth higher. So it comes down to who do you have a relationship with, and do you trust this person? So before you apply to 3 or 4 places for a pre-approval, you might want to interview a couple different loan officers just to see who you click with the best. And that's who I would recommend that you work with.
I agree. And the same thing with real estate agents too. And especially now where there are a lot of agents who are trying to win your business by cutting their commissions. And, but you need to pay attention to not just the commissions, but do you trust them? Are you comfortable working with them?
Yeah, I mean, it really is a trust situation. A referral in is the best situation. If you're a loan officer, a real estate agent's providing you with useful information and educating you, for the simple fact that if you go out into the marketplace and you've been educated and somebody tells you something different, it's going to raise your antennas, and you may not know that may go to the point where they know that you're not being exactly truthful with you, which is a good way to look at things too as well.
Yeah. And going back to affordability and what you can quote unquote afford, what we can qualify you on paper is totally different than what you're comfortable paying. Because we use their gross incomes to qualify for a loan and not necessarily their take home. And so people are living off of what they actually take home. And that's a different number.
It really is. It really is true. And that's, again, it's when you're going through the process of interviewing the loan officer. Again, it comes down to a matter of trust, and somebody's going to work with you and not oversell you just based on what they can make off of you. Keep in mind, if your loan officer is not your advocate, then you probably need to fire them and get a new loan officer. That's my opinion.
Yeah. I agree too. And what about like credit? Like, because at some point, even if it's a soft pull and some people come to me and say, oh, but I have 30 days, so I can have like 15 companies pull my credit and it's totally fine.
Yeah, it's not totally fine. You get three. I mean, in a 45-day period before it really starts affecting credit score. So you got to be really careful about that. Again, if you're going to shop, wait till you got a property that's under agreement. That's the time to shop, and you need to shop interest rates in real time. But again, if you've got a trust factor and everything being equal, that with that loan officer that pre-approved you, I would stay there. It's not. It's just good business.
I agree. And I think customer service is a lost art. And it's just, if you can't work with somebody who's going to get you what you need and get you to that finish line, then what's the point?
I think what we do different than everybody else out there too, Mona, is in our group is we communicate the way the client wants to be communicated with, whether it be by text, email, or pick up the phone. Because a lot of our clients, especially for me on the younger side, the old school was just pick up the phone, talk to them, and be done with it. But a lot of people want to do things through text. Now, there comes a point in time where we're actually going to have to talk because text or email can get lost in the translation, or two, it's just too complex to explain in a text to understand. So the 10-minute phone call will relieve about 20 minutes of text in the long run.
Oh, totally. And then I also would argue too with the 3 pulls within 45 days, because if you're living your life when you're opening credit cards, every time you see, a nickel off your bill, or if you're like turning around and closing all these credit cards and just causing all this ruckus in your credit history, that could be a problem more than just a mortgage pull.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you're looking at a new home, going out and getting new credit of any kind is probably not a good idea while you're in the home shopping process. Buying a new car. I mean, I've had clients come to me and say, hey, my car just, S the bed. What am I going to do? And, I can go into their loan and say, look, you can afford a $400 car payment. You go much over that, and you're going to put your loan in jeopardy. And I think another today is especially true because interest rates have been jumping up all over the place. So one day they're down, the next day they're up, and rates tend to go up a lot faster than they come down. So you got to be aware of that when you're out looking and opening up new credit. So that's another thing. And also, we should speak to people about their job, Mona. What would you say about that as far as going through the process and switching companies in the middle of the process? What?
I think you have to plan. Like if you know that you are currently interviewing for a job and there's a chance that you're going to change jobs, you need to let your loan officer know so that you can make sure that you plan accordingly. And probably not the best time to close when you're in between. But if it's a smooth transition and you're doing the same line of work, but you're just increasing your income, there's a way to do everything. You just have to make sure that you communicate with your loan officer.
Yeah, again, that's the key. Make sure you communicate with your loan officer. If you have a question, whether you feel it's relevant or not, pick up the phone, shoot them on a text, and make sure that what you're about to do, you can do A or B. Here's the way you need to do it. So the loan officer will guide you through and help you navigate through that process as well.
Absolutely, because remember, hindsight is always 20/20. And so you don't want to make the mistake and then have an oh shit moment.
Yeah.
You should always ask first.
Kind of like my first wife, and I can't unring that bell, so.
We're not going to touch that, Brian. So that's our tip of the day.
Yeah.
Ask first.
Ask first. That's the Denton McRae Group tip of the day, which is, I think it's an important one. Do you have any questions at all? Pick up the phone, call your loan officer. That's it.
I agree.
That's what I have, and that's what I'm sticking to. So
excellent. Hey, thanks for listening to our podcast. We really enjoyed having you here. If you have any questions, drop us a note. Let us know. You can get us at hello@homebuyinguncensored.com. You can also reach us on Instagram. Our handle is homebuying_uncensored. Thanks.